Hello, Crafty Comrades. This is Biddy Penny. I am signing on for my first YouTube video. I have been paper crafting for years, semi-silently from my craft room, sharing my projects with my community and family and friends. And I just decided to take the plunge and jump into YouTube. So, the first project I'm going to bring to you is a project of necessity. I needed to trim, I'm a gardener, and I needed to trim some of my herbs. And I like to share these with my friends and family. Mostly my neighbors, though, usually get my garden goodness. So, anyways, I just made these little bundles this morning. And it has thyme and rosemary in it. And my kids are going to drop them off for me to the neighbor's doorstep. So I wanted to share it with you all. There's a couple of fun little tricks in here. I've tried to prep as much as possible because I'm not going to do a ton of editing in the beginning of my journey through YouTube because it just seems like a daunting process, and I really just like working with paper and not so much technology. So here we go. I have embossed I've used various embossing folders from different companies, and I've come up with these. And they are like a standard size. Well, the ivory are 4¼ by 5½, and these are actually 4 by 5¼ That doesn't matter. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do is what I've already done is I've cut these down into 1-inch strips. It doesn't matter which way you want to go across the embossing folder. If you had a specific design or something that you were trying to do, you can cut your 1-inch strips vertical or horizontal. It really doesn't matter. I decided on a 1-inch size because I took my pieces and I basically laid them out the way I plan on bundling them together, and when I laid them on my mat they essentially take up 2 inches. So I thought a 1-inch strip seemed like a happy place. So I put my thyme on top of the rosemary, just a few sprigs here, and we will bring those back towards the end when it's time to bundle them all together. Another thing I've done is I have put some alphabet together so we can, customize our saying. We've got rosemary here, which I used a Surely Retired Make a Difference Stamping Up stamp set to make that. But my very favorite thing to do with customized sentiments are these blocks. I'm sure you've seen them, but they link together like this. And I just love them. They're not perfect. They don't stamp perfectly. And what I mean by that is they kind of come out a little bit wonky, but that doesn't bother me. What I was going for here was 2 different fonts, and I even chose different colors. This here is guava, which is like my all-time favorite color of any company, of anything. I just love guava. It could change. The wind could blow and I could change my mind. But for the last month, that's what it's been. So I did rosemary out of guava, and I did thyme out of number 2 pencil. And what I stamped these on, these long strips of paper, are actually remnants. I take my 8½ by 11 paper to Kinko's, UPS, whoever you want to go to. But I take whole reams and I have them cut at once for my card bases and for quarter sheets so that I don't have to deal with it, because that's just, I don't want to. But what I do is when I have my quarters cut, I actually have them cut at 4 by 5¼ And when you do that, you end up with a strip. And these strips make perfect sentiment strips. Now, they don't work for everything. These are 1/2 inch. Some sentiments are bigger. For example, rosemary. This is actually a 3/4 strip of sentiment here. This was an accident. They miscut my paper that day. But I decided to make the most of it. And I'm at least using the strips, and I'm using the other paper, you know, in other ways. All right, so I take those and I stamped these out, and that's how I got my personalized or customized sentiment. Okay. All right. Another thing is I did some hole reinforcing here. And what I wanted to share with you today is that there's options, right? So maybe you already have hole reinforcers. These came from Target. If you do, and you can color them any color you like. I am just going to take out the sponge and some distress ink and show you how easy this is. What's fun about this is they can be any color, right? So you can customize them to match your project, which we all like that, don't we? So you can do it with a sponge. If you have some of the makeup brushes or the special card making versions, whichever, you can use those. This is Moonstone from Lawn Fawn. Okay, and just color those white reinforcers any color you like. All right, let's say you don't have hole reinforcers. All right, I got another option for you. I have a 1/2 inch punch here. This is EK Success, doesn't matter. I usually do my punches this way, backwards, so I can see what I'm doing. All right, I just punched out 4 because I plan on doing a hole reinforcer on the front and the back of my paper. All right, so I'm going to take out this paper and I'm going to use some glue. And I'm just going to glue these circles on here. I'm not going to worry about being super precise, okay? Like, I don't expect my neighbors to keep these tiny strips of paper past unwrapping their herbs and cooking with them. So I'm not going to spend half my day getting these real precise or anything, right? We're just eyeballing things here. You do you and make it as precise as you like. You come along with a standard hole punch, okay? And you punch a hole in the middle of those little circles, and voila, you have the look of hole reinforcers. And they are reinforcing the hole. So either way you come about it, right? Whether you got some on hand and that's what you're going to use, or if you make your own, okay, this is how I'm choosing to do it. All right, so moving right along here, I'm going to take those I'm going to put the thyme right there, and I like it kind of cattywampus. Not usually, but for this project I do. So there. All right, that's easy. I really needed to trim my rosemary, like it's taking over, which I don't mind. We use it a lot. We love it a lot. But I had to trim a lot of it. So I am going to make at least 8 of these, basically. And my thyme is pretty huge. My thyme bush is pretty huge, too. So it got a good trim today. All right. So I love blessing my neighbors with my garden goodness. I always send my kids around to share this stuff with them. We share a lot of peppers and tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. All right. I got this beautiful string, and this camera and lighting is probably not going to do it justice, but it was from Spellbinders, and they had a big spring sale like a couple of weeks ago. And I got it for like $1. No joke. And it's amazing that it's like a dusty rose. It's so pretty. I really love it. So I'm so happy I impulsed that purchase. All right. So this is going to go quick here. We're just going to string these little babies up, bundle them together. If everything will cooperate. Here we go. Okay. I'm not going to make this too tight. It doesn't have to make it to China and back. It just has to go right next door, down the street, around the corner, and on the doorstep. So it's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be too secure. Okay, and I also want to keep it simple so that the neighbors can easily just pull the string and have some fresh herbs. All right. So you probably noticed I haven't put my rosemary on there yet. I'm going to attach it with a different string. I don't know where I got it, but just a different color. I don't know where I purchased it. I got it from my stash. All right. So I'm just going to run this through here since I've already tied that other one on. I'm just trying to connect these two pieces essentially. All right. And not in a fussy way. All right. There's a time and a place for fussy projects. This is not it. All right. Not for me. So there you have it. There is a little bundle of rosemary and thyme. And I hope like the hole punch, the reinforcer tip was maybe something new you hadn't seen before. Getting your paper pre-cut at this, whatever office place you might have near to you or print shop, and asking them, you have to let them know, like, hey, I want those leftover pieces. I want those remnants that you cut off my paper. And you'll have sentiment strips forever. And look, I can get 3 or 4 on each one. I really think these are a great value. I bought mine at Hobby Lobby like for 40% off. They were really inexpensive, so I recommend those highly. All right, I hope you enjoyed this process. I hope you learned something new. I'm really thankful that you clicked on this video and gave me some of your time today. This is my first. I hope you'll hit the like button. I'm going to be looking for some of those. And maybe you'll subscribe and stick around. I make journals, cards. I just love playing with paper. So I make all kinds of things, and I hope to share that with you. All right, this is Biddy Penny signing out. You have a blessed day.